You brought work.
Well, Couture has to go to press, trial or no trial.
Probably won't be here that long.
I hope not.
And I probably will be called up first since yesterday Rick called me before the court adjourned. I think that's how it works, is it?
I have no idea how criminal court works. And you know I know nothing about this case, so hopefully my testimony will be brief and painless.
Wish I could say the same thing.
I didn't realize you'd been called to testify.
Well, Rick couldn't pass up the chance to force me to incriminate my best friend.
Thought about you all night. Did you sleep okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, actually.
Carly, you have to leave before the judge calls the court to order. Not if you call me as a witness. Okay, we went through this yesterday. This trial is closed to the public. Will you please tell your lawyer I should testify? Things are bad enough for Jason without you making them worse.
I apologize for my guards. They can be over-enthusiastic.
Oh, why should they restrain themselves? You've already announced that you're going to kill me.
I do. But not until your brother arrives. And you know, Jerry, always late.
Yeah, that can be annoying.
Perhaps not. Depending how we spend the time.
I know you're in there.
Nicholas Cassadine. Not such a good idea to solicit contact, since we tend to disagree. And I'm in a position to hurt your precious little Emily.
So I closed your account and blocked your access to Cassadine Industries.
Really?
Yes.
Knowing that your lovely fiancée could end up in jail for treason?
Go ahead. Just be prepared to deal with retaliation.
Such a brave and careless prince. But you see, you've chosen a most unfortunate time to show your independence.
Waiting for Jerry to witness your death doesn't have to be unpleasant. In ancient Rome, conquered kings were wined and dined. They lived in luxury until they were executed.
Oh, so you were a scholar before you started kidnapping people and threatening to kill them.
After the university, I set out to change the world, to free the people. Usual rhetoric. But soon I realized it's only about the money.
Unfortunately for you, I have quite a lot of my own. So if you let me go, I'll help you disappear. You can live your life rich and carefree, helping the poor bring power to the people and reclaiming all those dreams you've lost.
That would be wonderful.
It's a hell of a lot better than holding a grudge against my worthless brother, don't you think?
This is tempting. Generous offer. But I have other plans for you.
So what are you doing?
Just jackling the closed circuit TV so we can see Stone Cold's trial. You know, we'll know in a few moments if Lucky has discovered the terrible truth in open court.
I'm not sure I want to see that.
I mean, you were so distraught yesterday that I thought
I
this
can't
might...
protect Lucky as much as I want to, and you could If you get caught, you can make things worse for Jason.
The jackal doesn't get caught.
Maybe you should just stay out of it. You're too late. Coop's already left for work. And how would you know? You've been spending way too much time with Coop lately. And why shouldn't I? He's way too good for the likes of you. It's obvious how you're playing Coop and Logan against each other. This isn't third grade recess, Lulu. They've been to war. They're dangerous. Someone's gonna get hurt, and it's going to be your fault. Aw, Maxie, you're just sad because you're not worth fighting over, and you're jerking Coop around just like you did my brother. And yet, I didn't get pregnant and have an abortion.
Okay, enough, bad blonde one. Just proceed to your destination at
Lulu
once.
is working you too. You're just too weird to see it.
Hey, you might want to mind your own business because I don't think you know what kind of crap Lulu has been pulling with Maxie.
Okay, look, I appreciate that you want to help me, but I am gonna be okay, Carly.
How can you say that when Sam sold you out in this courtroom?
Sam told the truth.
She told the truth, really? She lies to everyone about everything for years, and out of nowhere, she's an attack of honesty? Right when it hurts you the most? Did you even object? Okay, see that right there? That's why you cannot be in this courtroom. You are volatile. You escalate everything. You will end up doing Jason more harm than good. Jason needs me.
I'm gonna be okay.
I will be calm, okay? I will be calm. I will say whatever you guys want me to say. That's not how this works. You don't know Rick. You don't know what he's capable of, and you don't know how much he hates Jason. I do know that putting you on the witness stand will play directly into Rick Lansing's hands. But the jury will see him for the freak he is. You have no proof of those allegations, and the jury will simply see your testimony as a desperate attempt to cloud the issue by maligning the prosecutor. You'll end up doing Jason more harm than good. The answer is no. I'm not going anywhere.
Carly, I know that you want to help me, but you really need to think about this. You have a history of losing it in the courtroom.
I won't do it this
It doesn't
time.
matter. Rick, get you on that stand. He is going to bait you, and you know that. He's going to tell the jury how you shot Dr. Jones in an open courtroom. And then he's going to remind them that you were married and divorced from Alcazar, and that you lied about what you saw when Sonny shot Alcazar.
That was self-defense.
It doesn't matter if it was self-defense. Rick is going to dig up every lie you've ever told. I mean, do you want him to bring up your breakdown to the jury? Because that is going to hurt you a lot, and it's not going to help me. It's not. So please, I'm okay. You go, let Diane do her job.
Fine. I'm gonna go. But I'm telling you right now that I am going to get you out of this. I'm gonna get you out of this.
Carly.
Elizabeth? Hey, good morning. I brought some breakfast.
Thank you, I'm starving. I suppose you're used to this sort of thing.
Well, I'm usually the defendant, not a witness.
You're furious.
Why would you say that?
Because you're quiet, barely moving, superficially calm.
Superficially calm. Why do you have to say it like that? Can't you just say it normally?
This is how you used to get before your worst fights? The ones I wasn't supposed to know about?
I hate that this is happening to Jason. Rick can't touch me, so he's going after my friend instead.
Thank you.
You had to talk Mac into give me the whole morning off so I can be here for moral support.
But I thought the trial was closed.
Well, I'm one of the arresting officers. I can be here if I want.
Oh, honey, that's really nice of you, but I'm fine. You don't have to be.
When I let you down when Jake got kidnapped, I can help you through this.
No, really, it's okay.
You don't have to worry about it. Rick, he just wants to establish that you heard Jason get a phone call.
And why now, Prince Cassadine? When we've been coexisting so peacefully.
Oh, it's just long overdue.
Does Emily know that you're going to do that? What is it? You're getting bored? You ready to move on?
You know that I'll go to any length to protect Emily. So if you try to hurt her, you just have to deal with the consequences, that's all.
Oh, but I am. And I've been ready for some time. And I can promise you, when I connect with your sweet Emily, she's going to come begging for more.
Samantha is mistaken. The bad blonde one is being most unkind to Lulu.
You are trying to impress her, aren't you? Can I get a cup of coffee to go? Thanks. You're trying to make Lulu see what a great person you are and how happy she would be with you, but there's no use.
No, I disagree most strongly.
You can't make somebody love you. Look at all the time I wasted trying to make Jason see. And for what? Nothing.
No, Stone Cold loves you
No,
most.
he doesn't. And I finally admitted it to myself. You can't force somebody to love you, no matter how loyal you are or what you're willing to do.
Here's your coffee. Bye.
Thanks. I wish someone was honest with me about Jason the way I'm being honest with you about Lulu. Look at her. She's using you. Wasting your time. She'll never love you.
There goes someone you haven't fooled yet.
At first, Samantha isn't. She's not thinking clearly. I mean, she's, distraught from the collapse of her romance with Stone Cold and, unsettled from, being out of her safe and familiar abode. But, I mean, everything she said was wrong. Wasn't it?
You look calm. Wish I could be.
All you gotta do is tell the truth. Don't worry how Rick tries to spin it.
Well, I'm only gonna be up on the stand for a couple minutes, right?
No, I don't know. I mean, I hope so, but and don't get nervous if he tries to string this along. And on rebuttal, just answer Diane's questions. Don't get emotional. Don't get nervous. Just, stick to your story.
Is that the same thing as telling the truth?
Just say what happened as you remember it. Okay, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I just want this to be over. Amelia.
What, Lansing called you?
Yes. Why? Exactly. It makes absolutely no sense. He got his mileage out of the footage. Why would he want me to testify that Jason saved my life?
Maybe he thinks he can twist the story around.
Well, it's blatant overkill. Poor choice of words. This trial is clearly more than a job to Rick Lansing.
Well, there's no question about that.
Why does he hate Jason so much?
Because Rick feels inferior. He knows that Jason's more of a brother to me than he'll ever be. And that he keeps saving his ex-wife.
Court will now come to order. D.A. Lansing, picking up where we left off yesterday, you may now call Elizabeth Spencer to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor. I've changed the order of my witness list. I'd like to call Michael Corinthos Jr., please.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
You may be seated.
Your Honor, I would like it stipulated for the record that Mr. Lansing and Mr. Corinthos are half-brothers on very, very bad terms.
That presents no problem for me, Your Honor.
So stipulated.
Although I would like to treat Mr. Corinthos as a hostile witness.
Objection. Prejudicial. He hasn't even asked him a question yet.
You open the door, Miss Miller. Mr. Lansing, you may treat Mr. Corinthos as hostile. Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Corinthos, Lorenzo Alcazar was a business associate of yours, is that correct?
No.
You never did any business with Mr. Alcazar?
No.
Never made any kind of deals with him at all?
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
Move on, Mr. Lansing.
Would you consider the late Mr. Alcazar to be an enemy?
Mr. Corinthos takes the fifth, Your Honor.
Mr. Corinthos, you're refusing to answer that question?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Didn't you once shoot Lorenzo Alcazar in the head?
Objection!
Jury will disregard. Mr. Corinthos is not on trial. As Mr. Lansing well knows.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry. But isn't it also true that Lorenzo Alcazar was once married to your ex-wife, Carla?
Objection. Relevant.
Sustained. Move on, Mr. Lansing.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Corinthos, did you make a phone call to Jason Morgan on the afternoon that Lorenzo Alcazar disappeared?
I don't recall.
You don't recall? Well, here's the date. Does that refresh your memory?
20.
No, of course not. Well, I'll make it real simple for you, Mr. Corinthos. Did you order Jason Morgan to kill Lorenzo Alcazar?
haven't clearly thought this through, have you? What are you going to do if you kill me, eh? Leave the country, turn yourself in, apologize to Emily?
My family's been getting away with murder for years, but you're just not worth the trouble. I'll just make you wish that you were dead.
I stopped wishing a long time ago.
Well, now it seems that you have the dilemma. See, if you kill me, then that just proves that you are, in fact, Mr. James Craig.
James Craig is the least of my worries at the moment. I'm short on time. Do you see this gun? This one tends to pull to the right.
I knew you'd be back.
You are charming, and my guess is that under all this, you are more handsome than your brother.
That would be in the eye of the beholder.
I need a handsome man to liven things up around here. The ship is so drab.
My offer for a new boat still stands.
It isn't what I need.
I'm quite capable of bathing and shaving myself. I've been doing it for years.
But where is the fun? I've been so looking forward to giving you a sponge bath.
You're so important to me. In a lot of ways, you're the best friend that I have ever had.
Blonde One, I'm honored.
I would never, ever want to take advantage of our friendship, so I need to be honest with you.
I would expect nothing less.
I don't see myself ever falling in love with you. So if that's where you think this is going, if that's what you're hoping for, then I'm not being fair to you.
Well, the Blonde One has made it clear that we can only be friends. That I mean that you don't believe in love, and I respect that choice. So, I mean, it's not like the Blonde One has given her heart to anyone else.
And if I did, would I lose you?
Hey, hi. Maybe I shouldn't be here, but the television station sent the boutique your new address, and I just want to say thank you for standing up for me at Kelly's.
Sure.
Want to come in? Yeah. Well, it looks like you could use some help.
You know, forget the apartment. How would you feel about, say, helping me wreck Elizabeth's life?
Your Honor, this entire line of questioning is argumentative and prejudicial. The district attorney is clearly unable to separate himself from his personal feelings for this witness.
The line of questioning speaks to motive, Your Honor. We've already established that Mr. Morgan works for Mr. Corinthos.
In a coffee business, Your Honor.
I'll allow the question.
Did you order Jason Morgan to kill Lorenzo Alcazar?
No, I did not.
Your Honor, the prosecution calls Catherine Howard. Thank you, Ms. Howard. You're friends with Sonny Corinthos, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry, neighbors.
Yes, my country home borders his property.
Oh, you have another residence?
An apartment in Manhattan. But at the moment, I am living at the Metro Court Hotel while overseeing renovations at the country home.
Oh, I see. You're editor-in-chief of Couture magazine, is that correct?
Yes.
Would you characterize your relationship with Mr. Corinthos as friendly?
Yes.
How friendly?
Objection, Your Honor. We have already established that they are neighbors.
Sustained.
Has Mr. Corinthos visited your home?
Yes.
On more than one occasion?
Yes.
Was he on your terrace the afternoon that Lorenzo Alcazar disappeared?
I don't mean to be difficult, Mr. Lansing, but I have no idea when Mr. Alcazar disappeared.
Oh.
I did not know him, nor have I been following the details of this case.
I completely understand, Miss Howard. Here's a printout. There we go. Printout of your PDA. On the afternoon in question, it shows that you were at your home that afternoon in a meeting with Mr. Corinthos.
Then I'm sure I was. My assistant keeps careful track of my time. Although we certainly weren't expecting a subpoena.
Did Mr. Corinthos receive a phone call while he was on your terrace that afternoon?
Yes, I believe so.
And what was the nature of that call?
I have no idea.
You didn't overhear the conversation?
Mr. Corinthos simply looked at the screen on his cell phone, if I remember correctly.
And what did he say?
I have to take care of this, something to that effect.
All right. And what happened next? Did he in turn make a phone call?
Are you asking me if Mr. Corinthos ordered Mr. Morgan to commit murder?
Isn't it a little bit obvious? He tried to kill me and almost killed you instead again. What are you doing here?
I own the hotel. Did you call him?
Come on, for once, I didn't start this, okay?
I cut Jerry off and I just wanted to tell him face to face.
Yes, no more Cassadine money for me, I'm afraid.
Okay, you know what? You need to go.
Why shouldn't I call the police, Carly?
If you do, I'm just gonna say that Jerry was cleaning his gun and it went off by accident.
What does he have on you?
He doesn't have
Is it
anything
Jax?
on
Is
me.
that-
No, will you please go?
I can help you.
You can help me. You can help me by leaving and staying away from Jerry, okay?
I suggest that Jerry stay away from me.
What is wrong with you? If you get arrested, you won't be any good to Jason at all.
Elizabeth's a lot like Lulu in some ways. They're both almighty Spencers, the angels of Port Charles that can do no wrong.
That's true.
I know what you said to Spinelli was really about you and Jason, but I can't help but think that it's kind of like me and Lucky, too. I mean, I loved him a lot. And yeah, I made mistakes, but I'm not the only one. Lulu makes mistakes. Elizabeth definitely does.
Oh, no, come on. Elizabeth is never wrong. Just ask Jason.
Yeah, she's selfish to the core. She lies, uses people. Lulu's the same way. She gets whatever she wants.
And they never have to pay.
Never.
I feel exactly the same way about Elizabeth.
Your Honor, could you please direct the witness to answer the question?
Answer the question, Miss Howard.
Certainly, Your Honor, but would you ask Mr. Lansing to repeat it?
Mr. Lansing?
On the afternoon in question, Miss Howard, did Mr. Corinthos make a phone call?
Yes.
What was the nature of
I have no idea.
You couldn't hear him talking?
I am not in the habit of eavesdropping on my guests. Mr. Corinthos was on the terrace.
Did he make any reference to Lorenzo Alcazar?
Objection, Your Honor. She's just said she doesn't eavesdrop.
Overruled. Answer the question.
I didn't hear any references to Mr. Alcazar or anyone. In fact, I barely remember the call, but I can assure you, Mr. Lansing, had I overheard the order to commit murder, I most certainly would have told the police. But in all fairness, I do toss the term murder around with great abandon, especially at work. It's always, let's kill the story, kill the shot, I'm gonna murder my assistant, you know, that sort of thing.
Did Mr. Corinthos speak in a threatening manner on the call?
Not that I remember. I didn't notice a thing. But again, I am also making several threats on that very terrace. You know, tell so-and-so to call us back, or their history, or give us the inside scoop of your next line, or we'll bury you. I often use that type of dialogue in front of Mr. Corinthos, and no one has ever accused me of arranging a murder.
You're a witness.
Miss Howard, on an average day at work, how many phone calls would you say you receive?
100, perhaps 150.
Have you ever received phone calls in the presence of Mr. Corinthos?
Yes.
Have you ever made phone calls in the presence?
Yes, I know. It's rude, but deadlines are deadlines.
Other than the phone call in question, has Mr. Corinthos ever received phone calls in your presence?
Yes. We both talk on the phone a lot.
Mm-hmm. Has he ever made phone calls in your presence?
Yes. And to my knowledge, none of them have ever involved an order to kill anyone.
Has the blonde one reconsidered her ban on dating and falling in love?
I'm tired of being afraid, not physically, but afraid of taking risks emotionally. It's stupid to live life that way.
I think you're most courageous.
What I mean is, love doesn't seem as impossible to me anymore. Spinelli, I need you to understand this. I haven't met anybody yet, but I might. And maybe at some point, if the circumstances were perfect, I might want to be with him. But I wouldn't want to lose you as a friend.
You won't. And if you ever do fall in love, I will wish for your every happiness.
Thank you.
I am just a keystroke or a speed dial away, which is to say that you can always count on me.
I feel the same way.
Thank you.
No matter who I'm with or how much I might love this hypothetical guy, he could never, ever take your place.
I'm very sorry to interrupt, but I really do need to speak with Lulu.
Why the hell are you antagonizing Nicholas Cassadine? Of all people, the Cassadines are lunatics. You could wind up dead. Which works for me, but it doesn't work for Jason, and it gets me no closer to finding Jax.
Oh, bloody hell, don't worry. I have no intention of dying, Carly, okay? But I'm glad you showed up, because I need your assistance.
You're supposed to be helping me, not the other way around.
You were married to Lorenzo Alcazar, correct?
Yeah, so?
Yes, I need all the information you have on his business contacts and associates.
You're supposed to already have that.
Well, I don't. That's why I'm asking you.
I think you're lying. I didn't know much about Lorenzo's business, but I know someone who does.
The more nervous you are, the more it will look like you have something to hide. You don't understand. My husband's gonna be in the courtroom. Take it that's a problem? Yeah, he doesn't really approve of my friendship with Jason. I can't really blame him. Look, he's a cop. Jason's a gangster who has a knack for showing up when you need him the most. It has to be difficult for Lucky as a man, if nothing else.
Elizabeth Spencer?
Yes. Give him hell. Thanks. I'm Amelia Joffrey. I take it you're a witness for the prosecution?
You could say that. I saw Jason Morgan carry Lorenzo Alcazar's body out of his house, dump it in a truck, and drive away.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You may be seated.
Your Honor, just to be clear, the witness was formerly married to Mr. Lansing.
I made no attempt to hide that fact, Your Honor.
Fine. Proceed.
Thank you. Mrs. Spencer, how long have you known Jason Morgan?
For years.
How many years? 3 years, 5 years, 10 years?
About 10?
Do you consider Mr. Morgan a friend?
Yes.
On the afternoon in question, where were you?
In the hospital.
Why?
I had just given birth to my son.
And did you see Mr. Morgan that afternoon?
Yes.
He came to visit, correct? Yes. Did Mr. Morgan receive a phone call during that visit?
Yes.
What was the call about?
I don't know.
Well, did you hear any part of the conversation?
Yes.
What did you hear?
Jason said he was on his way.
Do you know who the phone call was from?
No.
Did Jason characterize the call in any way?
No.
Well, what do you think the call was about?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Overruled. Answer the question.
I assume the call was about business.
My business.
Your Honor.
Mr. Lansing, you know better. The jury will disregard.
I meant coffee business. Jason imports coffee.
That's what I think the call was about.
Hi, thank you so much for getting here so fast.
Well, the Jackal would never let any harm befall Stone Cold's closest friend.
Jason said that about me.
Yeah, I mean, Stone Cold's always been most clear that he trusts and esteems the Valkyrie above all others.
I feel the same way about Jason.
He also did mention that the Valkyrie's somewhat impulsive, you know, kind of a leap before you look kind of thing, and that I, the Jackal, should never, under any circumstances, be wrapped up in one of the Valkyrie's plans.
That's not fair. A lot of my plans work, and this one's going to work too.
Wait, no, the Valkyrie has? What, she has a plan?
Jerry is going to help us get Jason acquitted.
No. The unhinged one lies, okay? His hatred for Stone Cold is profound. Why would he want to help Jason get out of jail? I think it would be better if you and I just took hands and fled.
Well, there's another solution. If you don't help us, I'll shoot you.
You heard Spinelli and the deal's off. We need information on all of Alcazar's holdings, properties, and associates in Venezuela.
How will collecting information on the presumed dead, but always evil Al help Stone Cold?
Just get the information and do it fast, because your Valkyrie and I are going to Venezuela.
Much better. And I was right. You are more handsome than your brother.
Now that we've established that, perhaps we could revisit the idea of ransom. Or Jerry would really hate it, and you would get a little bit of revenge.
No negotiating until you answer my question.
What question?
Are you better in bed than your brother?
Listen, I'm really sorry about, the way I've been acting, fighting with Coop and dragging Maxie into this, and even being rude to Spinelli. The last thing I want to do is ruin my chance with you.
Well, I accept your apology, but this whole mess just proves that we're no good for each other.
I scared you.
I hate it when you go crazy like that, and I'm starting to think that I'm the trigger. I set you off.
No, that's not it, Lulu. I like you too much, all right? And I try too hard to impress you, and then I end up doing just the opposite. And about the war, all right? I don't want what I did over there to ruin my chance with you.
We don't have a chance.
Well, we got a real problem. I'm not gonna give up on us.
Well, you should. For your sake as well as mine, because I can tell you with complete conviction that we shouldn't be together. And I have absolutely zero interest in seeing you ever again.
See, you were just as stubborn as I am. But lucky for us, I have the perfect solution.
Wow, this is really beautiful. You can have it if you want. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?
This I got in Hawaii. Jason and I were there, and we brought it back as a souvenir.
Oh, in that case, you're keeping it.
No, it is yours. I don't need it. I don't need the reminder that part of my life is over.
Sam, do you hate Jason?
I'm angry with Jason. I am disappointed. I kind of wish he was hurting the way I'm hurting right now, but no, I don't hate him. Now, Elizabeth, that's a different story. She is a liar, and I hate the way people just sort of look the other way and pretend that she's perfect. I actually see her for what she is.
Mm-hmm. Ice cold and selfish.
You got it. And she does not deserve Jason, let alone Lucky and those kids.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I don't care if it takes me the rest of my life. I'm gonna make sure that bitch pays and winds up alone.
Jason Morgan has saved your life on more than one occasion, is that correct?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, he brought you to the hospital when you were in labor with your son Jake. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us how that came about?
Jason found me passed out on my living room floor. I was bleeding and he got to me just in time.
Just happened to be stopping by.
Well, a storm was moving in and he wanted to make sure I was okay.
Is Mr. Morgan often often visit you at your home?
Sometimes.
Once a week?
No.
Once a day?
No.
Every night?
Objection.
Overruled.
No.
When Jason does stop by to visit, glad to see him.
Yes.
Why is that?
He's a friend.
Close friend?
Yes.
How close?
Close. But I have several close friends.
You ever been to dinner with him?
Yes.
Parties, social events, that sort of thing?
No.
Helped him hide out from the law?
Objection, prejudicial.
Have you ever helped Mr. Morgan when he was injured?
Objection's vague.
Have you ever helped Mr. Morgan? Have you ever saved his life?
I don't know.
Fine. I'll move on. Mrs. Spencer, have you ever visited Mr. Morgan at his penthouse?
Yes.
Why?
Because we're friends.
You spend the night, Mrs. Spencer?
Yes.
Have you ever had sex with Jason Morgan?